I'm going to bring in Peter Zalmayev. He's the Executive Director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative. He's joining us live from Kyiv. Sir, thank you very much indeed for being with us. I want to talk about this proposal, first of all, that China has put forward. From your understanding, is there anything within that proposal that Ukraine would feel it was able to at least work on?
Well, at the very least, we are not hearing about any sort of territorial concessions that Ukraine must allow the aggressor state, which is something we feared. We're reassured that at least that China continues to adhere to its position that Ukraine must continue to exist as an independent state. In this current environment where Vladimir Putin is denying the very right to Ukraine to exist. This is something. On the other hand, we are afraid that, China may use this as a pretext. So listen, we tried, we gave, our best effort. We proposed a good faith peace plan. Neither Ukraine nor its Western backers are willing to go along with it. So we'll just have to give Russia lethal aid. This is something that is a concern. Hopefully it won't happen, and we'll take it for what it's worth. But the Chinese officials continue to deny any plans to supply Russia with any sort of lethal assistance at this point.
President Zelensky has repeatedly said that he's refusing to go anywhere near any negotiations until all Russian troops are out of every part of Ukraine. In practical terms, however, if there was a chance that there could be a solution to this crisis, to this war, at what point do you think he would be prepared to start talking? What would Russia have to do as a first move in order to be able to allow those talks to take place?
Well, obviously, Ukraine's maximalist position is that, for the war to end, all Russia has to do is withdraw its troops, stop firing. Let's say if Ukraine stops firing, Ukraine will cease to exist as an independent state. If Russia stops firing, the war will end. Having said that, we understand that the world is more complicated than that, and that most wars, if not all, end at a negotiating table. It's just that the consensus is on the Ukrainian side, and when it comes to the Rammstein coalition of countries that support Ukraine, is that we are not there yet. Vladimir Putin, for all his talk about not being averse to peace talks, really, I think, has in mind freezing the conflict at this point so he can replenish his supplies and rebuild his really badly wounded army to continue his assault later. I don't think he's given up on his maximalist goals of either controlling Ukraine or destroying Ukraine. But I think reality will be otherwise, and once Ukraine is able to stage a successful counteroffensive sometime in the spring before the summer, maybe we will have reached a position, territorially speaking, from which Ukraine will be able to sit down and talk.
Obviously, we're marking 1 year of the war in Ukraine. How much has Ukrainians' view of their country changed in the last year?
If you remember, I was a guest on the very first day of the invasion, exactly a year to this day, the 24th of February 2022. I was disheveled. I had just woken up and speaking to your colleague in the studio. And what I said, I think, is still very true. Even then, the first day of the invasion, Vladimir Putin was saying that he had no goal of subjugating Ukraine. All he wanted to do was denazify Ukraine and get rid of its Nazi government and demilitarize it. Well, what I said then was that Vladimir Putin had very much imperialist goals in mind. He wanted to control Ukraine's territory, and that remains the case. And if you ask me about what the Ukrainians feel about their country, they have never felt stronger about their identity, and they have never felt stronger about not wanting to be a part of the so-called Ruski Mir, which means Russian world, Russian civilization, which Vladimir Putin is trying to impose on us against our will.
Peter Zalmayev, we appreciate you being with us on Al Jazeera, so thank you very much indeed.